Before you pack for your Japan trip, there are a few things you should absolutely know because Japan is very different from anywhere else that you have traveled. I promise you that. So we just got back from Japan. In fact, it was our fifth trip. It was a cruise and land combination trip. And I'm going to be sharing and showing you exactly what I packed and what I definitely wish I had left at home. See, packing for Japan is not super hard, but it's just kind of unique. So I'm going to be sharing some packing tips along with 15 specific things that I packed and I always pack that made this most recent trip so much easier because you want to prepare you guys for the unique culture, the weather, which changes a lot in Japan, by the way, and the kinds of things that you're going to be doing day to day. There's also one really common but kind of weird rumor that I keep hearing about something that you shouldn't bring to Japan with you, and we're gonna actually clear that up at the end of this video. So a good packing plan really starts with your luggage, right? And what you pack for that long flight to Japan, because no matter where you're coming from, it's probably gonna be a doozy, that can make a huge difference in how you feel when you land, and even more so when you pack up to leave Japan. So for this trip, I brought a carry-on, a personal item, and a checked bag. And my first tip for you is to leave space in that bigger checked bag for souvenirs. Even better, if you can buy an expandable suitcase or two, do it. Otherwise, you're going to end up at Don Quixote buying another suitcase to bring home all of the stuff that you buy because you guys, shopping in Japan is amazing, like dangerously good. And I can almost promise you, you're going to want the extra room. So trust me on this. And again, go for a nice checked bag and preferably an expandable one. On this trip, I used this matching luggage set in a nice neutral color, but one I could still find on the luggage carousel. And for my personal item, I brought my tried and true NOMAD Lane bento bag. So NOMAD Lane is sponsoring today's video, which is super exciting. And I have to show you guys the color I got for this trip. So this new one that I got, the color is called Dawn. And honestly, it reminded me so much of the spring blossoms that we saw while we were in Japan. Specifically, I saw the blossoms in Yokohama and Kamakura this year. We thought we were too late, but we actually got to see some. It was so amazing. So this is the bag that I often reach for on international trips because it makes my flight and my travel through the airport so much easier, especially with international flight carriers and those baggage size restrictions. It fits under most airplane seats unless there's like a weird configuration, which is huge, especially on a long haul flight like the one that we took. It also slides right over your suitcase handle, so you can roll everything through the airport in one piece. And you can even roll it through the city, the subways, the park, wherever you need to roll it to get to your hotel without kind of juggling your bags. A lot of people take public transportation when they're going to Japan, and this bag, it checks all of the boxes. One thing I really noticed on this trip too is how this bag holds so much more than it looks like it should. You see it and you think, oh my gosh, it's kind of petite, but it really isn't. The way it's designed with all of these special compartments, everything kind of has its own place. So I find that I'm not digging around mid-flight to try to find like my earbuds or my passport or whatever I need in the moment because everything has its place. And it comes with these really cool included tech and toiletry bags that are specifically designed to fit in these little pockets that actually hold them exactly. It is so cool. So you could fill these with anything you want. It doesn't have to be toiletries or charging stuff, but I put my earbuds, my chargers, and like my charging brick into one of them and some toiletries in the other. So here's how I packed it for those flights. I started with my small laptop in there, then my toiletries that needed to potentially come out at security, and then all the little essentials to keep within reach on my flight, like earbuds, hand sanitizing wipes, a sleep mask, just the stuff that would make a long travel day a little bit more comfortable. I even got my entire makeup bag in here, which I used to freshen up before I got off the plane after that 13-hour flight to Tokyo. So I'm gonna link to the NOMAD Lane bento bag with the YouTube shopping app. It'll be linked right here on the video, but you could also see a link to it pinned to the top of the comments and in the description. It should be really easy to find it, but if you can't find it, just let me know and I'll help you out. Now, before we get into the rest of the list of things I know you're gonna love packing, I'd love to know if you've been to Japan before or if you're watching this video to prepare for your first trip. Let's get back into that packing list now. This first item is totally unique to Japan, and I did not know I needed this until like my third trip to Japan. It is a small hand towel because in Japan, the public restrooms often don't have paper towels. In fact, I would say at least 90% of the time they don't have paper towels. If you're really lucky, you might get a hand dryer, but otherwise you need something to dry your hands with when you wash your hands. You might also want to consider these little soap sheets that activate with water. They don't take up much space in your purse, and if there's no soap in the restroom, which sometimes you won't find soap in Japan in the restrooms, you're going to love this. Now, with the little washcloths that I was showing you, they actually sell them everywhere in Japan. I'm going to link to some, but if you'd like to wait until you get there, trust me, you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of adorable options. Just drop into any gift shop that you go to. Even Castle gift shops sell these. Muji sells them. Probably places like Uniqlo and GU as well, but trust me, you can find them absolutely anywhere. So if you want to wait till you get there, go for it. The next thing I highly recommend you take is a coin purse. Ladies, this is a cute one for you. For the gentlemen, I have a more minimalist leather looking one, but you're going to be using coins a lot when you're in Japan. This one is actually made in Japan. It is so, so cute. And you're gonna use it like when you approach a vending machine. If you don't wanna use your Suica to scan or your credit card, you can just pop some coins in there. And this helps you to keep those coins separately organized in your purse or your backpack or whatever, and it's awesome. The next thing I always take to stay organized throughout the trip, like for packing to get there and also for those times when I need to repack and move hotels or when I'm coming home, is packing cubes. So in addition to my larger standard floral packing cubes, I'm also using the packing cubes from NOMAD Lane for this trip because they're helping me save so much space in my bag and they help me keep things organized and tidy. So this 4-piece set, it includes a small packing cube, a medium one, a large cube, and a laundry bag. And this is especially useful if you're doing a pre or post cruise stay in Japan, because what you can do is separate out your hotel essentials from the different stuff you might be taking on your cruise or the main part of your trip and simply grab what you need from a single packing cube for that night. This little set that I showed you is water resistant and uses compression to get all that excess air out of the packing cube so you have more space in your suitcase, and I can definitely link to those. I also like to take a travel adapter. Now, while you're in Japan, if you're from the US, Japan actually uses the same type of outlet as us, but sometimes they don't accommodate certain types of plugs, so you need an adapter to get it from your device into the wall correctly. We suggest taking one just in case you may not need it, but they are pretty handy to have. Absolute necessity for Japan would be a lightweight day bag or a backpack. This is going to be handy for temples, markets, long port days, shore excursions, and of course, all of the shopping that you're going to be doing. But my advice for you is to look for something really lightweight because you're going to be on your feet for so many different hours during the day. You're going to be walking, you're going to be sightseeing. You don't want a heavy bag. You want something very, very light. And I'm curious to hear from you. Are you team backpack? Or do you like a crossbody or a shoulder bag on the port days? What kind of bag do you like to pack? I actually took both types of bags on this trip. I took a little gray backpack so my husband and son could carry it. And then I took a cute bag with me that I could have a little fashion fun with. A refillable water bottle is also a good idea for Japan, even though there are vending machines everywhere, and chances are you're probably going to get your refreshments from vending machines, which are literally on almost every street corner. They are in the metro subway stations. They are everywhere. But sometimes it's just nice to have your own beverage and have it ready. So I do recommend that. A compact umbrella is also really important year round. Rain can pop up anytime in Japan, but an umbrella can also be used to protect you from the sun because it gets so hot in the majority of Japan during the months of June, July, August, and September. Now, my tip for you is not to buy a flimsy umbrella because the wind can invert those umbrellas very, very quickly. Worst case scenario, you can buy your umbrella once you get to Japan. They make adorable varieties of umbrellas. Some hotels and cruise ships also offer umbrellas for day use, but you do want to be prepared with your own just in case. I will link to some cute ones from Amazon that are very compact, but again, just like those hand cloths I mentioned earlier, It's kind of fun to shop for these in Japan. I also recommend a lightweight rain jacket if you're traveling to Japan in the winter or spring months when it's going to be rainy. In the summertime, an umbrella is probably enough. You're probably never going to want to put a jacket on because it's so hot. But in those cooler months, I'd say really honestly, everything except summer. Take a little raincoat with you just to protect you when the showers hit, and also a little bit of insulation. If you're going to be there in the coldest months of the year, which would be January, February, even a little bit into early March, you might want a heavier and warmer jacket as well. Layers are so smart any time of year in Japan, but the temperature can be really unpredictable in kind of the winter and spring. Spring actually gets a little bit more rainy. Sometimes the winter months are a little more dry and you don't have to worry as much about a rain layer, but you definitely want to be thinking about being able to take off a jacket, place it into a backpack, have a nice light layer under that, then maybe a sweater. And also think about light, flowy clothes that don't cling to you too much, especially in those warmer spring through early fall months when it is just so hot. This next tip is so essential. If you do nothing else for your Japan packing, please do this one thing, and that is to buy the most comfortable walking shoes that you can find. If you can get them in a slip-on, that's even better. And there's so many reasons to buy slip-on shoes for Japan. Number one, they are easy to remove for flights if you need to, if you're moving through security. I have not been asked to take off my shoes for a very long time when flying, but it could happen. But in temples, dressing rooms at the mall, some restaurants, some traditional hotels, you will be asked to take off your shoes and leave them outside of the room that you are entering. And you want to be able to have a shoe that you can get on and off quickly. I love the Skechers brand for travel, but there are so many different brands. I saw people wearing Vessies on my trip to Japan recently. So many good ones, but wear them in before you go to Japan because you're going to be doing a ton of walking. You're going to be walking upstairs more often than you think when you're visiting castles and outdoor places that require you to climb. Believe me, castles have a ton of stairs and you need something very comfortable. So I have a question for you with regards to shoes. When you're packing your shoes, do you pack like one pair of shoes or five? I'm somewhere in the middle. I try to take about 3 pair of shoes for every trip, but be honest, let me know down below. So if you're traveling May through September to Japan, a handheld fan or a neck fan can help you to stave off the heat. Now, these are really common. You're going to see locals with them. You can also buy them there, but they're really great if you're standing in line for a crowded exhibit in the just sweltering sun of summer. Trust me, you need a fan. All right, our next tip is to carry a small trash bag or pouch. There are so few public trash cans in Japan. So you are actually supposed to carry your trash with you when you are visiting shrines and temples and things like that. You're not going to see trash cans around. Grab a little bag from your home, like a little grocery bag that you've already used before, or a little Ziploc bag, or even a little produce type bag from the grocery store. Tuck a couple of those into your bag before you travel, and then you can sort and properly dispose of your waste when you see a trash bin or you get back to your hotel or on your cruise ship, and you can discard it that way. So you're not going to see many trash bins, and the ones that are in restrooms are very tiny and they do not want you filling them with large quantities of trash. Now, it may go without saying that you need to take a credit card, a debit card, and some cash with you. But Japan is pretty cash friendly. While they do widely accept credit cards, having some cash is really smart. So take that debit card. And don't worry, this isn't hard. You can actually get cash right at the airport when you land at Haneda or at Narita. And you can also load money onto a digital Suica card, spelled S-U-I-C-A, which is in your phone's wallet. So a Suica card lets you scan with your phone's wallet on trains, buses, and some shops, and even some vending machines. It is so handy, and I recommend that you get that into your wallet before you go. So to do this, you're going to want to open Wallet on your phone, tap the plus at the top of the screen, and hit Transit Card. Then you're going to want to search Suica, S-U-I-C-A, or scroll down until you get to Japan and select it there. Next, you want to pack with you lots of hand sanitizing wipes. You might find yourself touching door handles, holding tight onto public transportation, and spending hours away from hot, soapy water to wash your hands. So make sure you take some alcohol-based ones. I have 3 favorite ones that I always pack with me, linked down below. And lastly, do not forget to take a portable charger with you to Japan. You don't want to be stuck with a dead phone when you need to navigate your way on the subway system, when you are filming everything and taking pictures of everything, because it's all so magical in Japan. So trust me on this, take a nice lightweight portable charger. Okay, now let's get to that list of things you want to leave at home. Number 1, revealing clothing. The Japanese culture is more modest. They think more respectful, especially at temples and shrines when it comes to putting their outfits together. And if you want to dress respectfully and avoid insulting anyone or, not blending in with the culture, you're going to want to avoid tight clothing like leggings, super revealing tank tops, and clothes that show too much skin or cleavage. You also want to avoid super tight and hard to remove shoes. You remember that easy on off always wins. You probably also don't need overly dressy outfits. Smart casual really works almost everywhere in Japan. So think about like nice, comfortable, flowy pants, nice, modest tops, stuff like that's going to go a long way. Some more practical do not pack items, tons of toiletries. You do not need tons of toiletries. Remember, Japan has amazing high quality toiletries everywhere, and you're gonna wanna shop for them at places like Don Quixote, at drugstores, and they have the best skincare and beauty items. So don't take a lot with you and just buy what you need. Also avoid heavy purses or oversized bags. You're gonna regret it on long walking days, on public transportation, on subways. Keep it small, keep those backpacks very small, and on public transportation, make sure that you wear your backpack on the front of your body so as to not hit people with it when you move. Also, avoid loud, flashy outfits. This culturally just sticks out more than you think. You're going to find in Japan that a lot of the locals wear kind of neutral colors. The last few times I've been there, I've noticed that cream and black is totally trending over in Japan. Of course, you can wear whatever you want, but really think neutral, comfortable, and respectful if you want to blend in a little bit more. Okay, now for that rumor and that misconception that I alluded to at the very beginning of that video. You guys, it's sunglasses. You may have heard some people say you shouldn't wear sunglasses in Japan, but the truth is they are totally acceptable. Here's where this kind of got started. Due to some social and cultural nuances around eye contact and history, there's a lot of chatter about this. There's some organized crime that's associated with sunglasses. So some people for a while were saying you should not wear sunglasses. You're not going to see a ton of Japanese people wearing really dark sunglasses. Even like bus drivers don't usually wear them, but there is nothing wrong with wearing sunglasses in Japan. I had multiple locals tell me it is absolutely okay and it is not offensive. All right, friends, those are the things that made the biggest difference for us on our Japan cruise. Japan's one of those places where a little prep goes a long way. It's different, but it's different in the best way possible. And once you know what to expect, it just makes the whole experience smoother and so much more enjoyable. If you're planning a trip, I'll link everything mentioned down below, plus my full packing list to make it easy. And I want to thank Nomad Lane for sponsoring this video today. I'd also love to know, what are you most unsure about when it comes to packing for Japan? Or if you've already been, what's one thing you were so glad that you brought? Drop it down in the comments. I read every single one of them, and it really helps other cruisers too. If this has helped you out, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more cruise packing tips, packing guides, and travel advice. Until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.